Is that right? Is that right? Are you gonna fall? Are you good there? Hello, it's me. Are you good? Are you good, bro? What's up, Joyce? You're finally awake? Joycey's always sleeping. Joycey is hardly ever. People are always sleeping in the Netherlands. They're always asleep. I can never get a text back. 8 p.m. Who is that? Kimmy, what's up, Kimmy? I'll try not to crash. I'll try to stop staring at you. Can't take my eyes off the stream. It's so distracting for me when I'm looking at the screen. I am trying not to crash. Can't put my phone on the dash. I don't have that Velcro thing to help me when I'm streaming. I'm streaming today while I drive back home from the meeting that I was at right now. I didn't plan this. I don't have better lyrics. You know, Samolosh. I'm trying to prop my phone up right now in my son's baseball mitt, and it's not going well. I need one of those dash things. You know what? I should go buy one right now. Should I? Nah. I've been using my card quite a bit lately. I don't know if I'm able. This is bringing me lots of anger. Lots of anger. This is driving me crazy. This is driving me crazy. My phone won't stand. I'm so frustrated. I'm really mad. It drives me crazy. I'm trying to merge, but these cars will not move over for me yet. There we go. All you gotta do is just like stall in your lane until everyone passes by in a very selfish manner. And then when there's a clearance, then you find your way. I'm not moving right now, don't you? Oh, check it out. Sponsored by Wilson. Me and Alejandro, who's that? Me and Alejandro just got out of a meeting right now. It was pretty crazy. I haven't been in a meeting like that in a long time. Whoo! I haven't been in a meeting like that in a long time. Lately, it's been us doing a bunch of like little client projects while we try to make the creative take off. And today was the first time. I mean, I think Alex and Juan Pablo do it here and there, but lately, I mean, I think it's been a few years since I've been in a meeting like this with a pretty gigantic client. And what we pitched to him was something that would have been really crazy. A lot of money. But it would have made sense. Not crazy as in it was like not realistic. It would have just been like, whoa. But it turns out that the person's not looking exactly for every little thing we thought they were. We thought they were still actively looking for social media help and video services, but it looks like they're only looking for video services right now and just a little social media help to supplement that, because they have already kind of committed to this other company to try it out for a couple of months. So then we gave them our price for just doing their video and some of their social media, just a little bit, just to kind of complement what we'd be doing with video. And we really hit it off. It was a chemistry. It was great. It was a great meeting. Like it seems like a formality at this point for us to just send the guy. We're gonna follow up and send him like a really clear breakdown of what we're gonna be giving him if he decides to hire us, like what we'd be delivering every month. But he pretty much said, I like you guys. I've had other people in here and it was awkward, but I really want to work with you guys. It just went great. So all we need to do is send him our breakdown, and it looks like he's probably going to be our biggest client. And that will make sure that we pay our bills on time. And that's been our goal lately. We really want to find, we've really been wanting to find a client that we could just focus on, like, that person, and not have to work with like 12 different clients a day and spread ourselves thin. And then by that point, there's like no more time or energy for creative. If we could just focus on one client and make them the best, really put our everything into just that one, and then not be so burned out after that working day that we can't still kind of do our own creative thing, that would be great. So it looks like we made a huge step toward that today. I kind of like meetings like this. I've never really liked meetings like when I worked at this place before, they'd call them like summits. And you'd have like this whole thing where you all get together and you talk about, well, what can we do better? And I would always get bored at those. But I always like first impression meetings. It's always like a challenge for me. Like, oh, they're this kind of person. All right, I'll bring out this stuff. Oh, that's what they like? All right, I'll give them that stuff. It's always kind of, it's like a little game. I don't feel like I was not being authentic or anything, but you have different parts of your personality that you know appropriate to bring out at certain times. It went perfectly. And now I want to sing.
.org.
.org. I love that song.
Die. Back at your feet. Use device.
I think a lot of people are on their lunch right now. It's kind of crazy out here. One of the things I'm not looking forward to, though, if and when this thing happens, I'm not looking forward to this commute. I've made this commute for years, and I got very sick of it. And I've grown pretty fond of working at home. It's pretty convenient. Uh, so we would, I mean, if he would have reached our highest number, we would have basically become this guy's employees. And we would have just worked with him every day, like a full shift, and we'd just be driving to his office every day. But if he goes for this lower tier where we're just kind of starting out with the simpler thing, he says if it works out, he'd like to grow into the higher number. Then we'd maybe go to his office like twice a week, so that's not too bad. But I don't know, twice a week might not be bad, because sometimes when you work at home, sometimes then you're like, okay, I need to get out of the house. That doesn't happen too often for me because I'm definitely a homebody. I hate leaving my house, but sometimes the work that I'm doing at home will make me hate it. So I don't hate being at home, but sometimes like when I was doing the voiceover the other day and I just start to hate my life, then it becomes like, okay, I need to get out of here. I need to go drive somewhere and get a soda or something. So that might not be too bad. That might not be too bad. I'm sorry I can't chat with you too much right now. I'm kind of just chatting at you. I don't even know if there's anyone here. I know I'm not bringing you the gold content or anything right now, like I usually do when I shop at Save Mart, you know, when I'm buying mayonnaise. I know that we're all here together and we can just chat about our meetings and about commuting, you know? I never liked NSYNC until it became until liking them ironically was funny to me. Because when I was this age and NSYNC came out, you know, we'd make fun of it. It was stupid. But now it's like, NSYNC. You know how that works. It's cool to ironically like stuff. Or we think it is. I saw nothing. Oh yeah.
In the valley now. Pollen, though, is extremely high.
Come on, man.
And olive pollen.
Oh my gosh. If you want to move over, speed up. I shouldn't have to slow down for you. I don't care if you move over. If you really want to move over, speed up. Sucker. Every time I hear a car drive by playing this kind of music, I assume like they're on their way to a drug deal.
Que te perdone Dios, yo no lo voy a hacer. Los perdí a los dos y a la misma vez. Vacaciones con su amiga me mintió.
At least where I'm from. Oh. It's funny how things change. When I was in high school or 8th grade, I thought this was like the coolest song ever made. Learning all the lyrics and just thinking I was so cool. And now it's like, who was that person? I was so stupid. So weird.
At AM 1400.
Children are so easily influenced. So are adults, though. People are so easily influenced. Oh yeah. This song always makes me feel like I'm sitting in a waiting room at the doctor's office. Oh. It's not that part. I know this much is
LA, and that is true. Coming up, opportunity to
Have you guys seen Rocky? If we're gonna be friends, you have to watch Rocky. Oh no! Son of a gun, did we get disconnected? I don't even like this setup. I can't see the chat. You guys are gone, aren't you? Son of a gun. I think I lost my connection. And last time when I lost my connection, and I was talking to people, and they said they were chatting, and then I had to restart the stream, and they were like, we were chatting, why didn't you see it? And I was like, yep, I was right. Oh! It's still working! It looks like Joycey. I think that's Joycey talking. I can't tell. I haven't got new glasses yet. I'm going to order one of those things really soon where I can put the phone right here. I don't know what I'm gonna do right now. Should I pack? Should I send more emails? I don't think we want to send emails at that point. Hopefully this guy makes it official and we work together. And then we have another meeting tomorrow. Which is, it's weird because the way that I just built up this one that we had today, there's one just as big tomorrow. But it's like we're not there yet, so I'm not like talking about how big that one is. Plus, we've already had one as big today, so it's like tomorrow I'm a little more jaded than I was for the one today, because it's like, oh, I've just had that gigantic meeting that could cause a lot of pressure. Tomorrow is just another one. So it's like, hopefully the guy we met with today is like, yep, let's do it. And hopefully the one tomorrow is like, yep, let's do it. Then I don't need to send out any emails. We're going to have the money rolling. And then we could just sit back and delegate, hire a bunch of 19-year-olds and be like, you just get out of college? Yeah, we're looking for some work. What's minimum wage now? Minimum wage is crazy high now. Crazy high. I remember when minimum wage was like $3.75. It's crazy. People push and push and push and push to higher the minimum wage, and it's like, oh, that was smart. Now mayonnaise is $11. Are you happy now? You just worked an hour to buy a jar of mayonnaise. I don't know. No one's ever gonna agree on everything, you know? I think it's kind of stupid to talk like, are you still connecting? It looks like it's connecting, but I see chat coming through. Hopefully you guys are there. I'm gonna park at some point and look at the chat and conversate with you. But right now, I'm hoping you don't want me to die. But, like, I was watching this video the other day. I forgot what it's called. Pulse? The channel? Something like that. Something trying to sound millennial and cool. It was like, there was these strangers, and you have to guess like what their political affiliation was. And the people were just so condescending. I mean, of course it was a left-leaning video, of course. So like you have these people who were like, oh, you're a Republican? Oh, okay, so you hate everyone and you're racist. It was so like, so biased. Even the people in the comment section who were liberal were like, this video is embarrassing. One of our biggest uphill battles is that everyone thinks that we're narrow-minded and we're crybabies and we don't let other people talk. And that's exactly what they were doing. That's not who I am. So, I mean, that's how I felt when I watched the video. Like, these people are being horrible. They're like calling the Republicans Nazis and saying a bunch of stupid stuff. And even in the comment section, the Democrats were like, these Democrats don't represent me. These people are judgmental and crude and cold, and it was just a horrible video. And it was just like people being so ugly to each other. I mean, the people on the left were being really like acting all virtuous and like, I'm better than you because I think I'm more open and loving of everyone. And the people on the right were like real stuffy and like, I'm smarter than you and you're all heathens and hedonists, and it was just a poor representation of both sides. And I don't know if either side needs to exist anymore, actually, because I don't know if I know. It's so rare to find people on either side that just so staunchly believe in all the things to make them be that thing. Like, I know plenty of Republicans who believe, and I know plenty of Democrats who believe things that Republicans believe. And I know a bunch of Democrats that are like, I want guns. I know a lot of Democrats, Republicans who are like, yeah, I think I like gun control. It's not that black and white anymore. And I don't know why people like, even though it seems like I'm doing this right now, I'm not discussing politics. Like, I'm kind of talking about like why I think it's dumb to do it. Like, I hate politics. That might make me sound like unpatriotic and like naive and ignorant to a lot of people. Like, a lot of you probably are very like, no, politics are important, voting is important. When this last election we had, I don't even know if I'm on anymore, with Donald Trump and Hillary, I didn't vote. I didn't care. That's correct. There's only 5 people watching. It's not like I'm Tom Hanks and I'm saying this to 50 million followers or anything, but at the same time, I'm aware that maybe all 5 people that are watching this are really upset with me right now. How could you not? You didn't vote for Hillary? I just didn't care. Maybe I'm selfish, but a presidential election has never affected my life. I just don't care. And you know, I'll own up to that. I think I'm very selfish, and I think a lot of people vote because they're thinking of other people. Me, it's like, I don't care. When Obama was president, did he destroy my insurance situation? Yeah. Yes, he did. I guess maybe Obama's the one out of all the presidents in my whole life that had an effect on me, and it was he destroyed my my doctor visits, and his wife destroyed my supersizing at McDonald's. But but besides that, I just always think like that. It doesn't matter. And like when people do these different things for like making this or that legal, I think I have like Ben Shapiro's point of view, where it's like, if you ask me how I feel about something, I'll tell you. But I don't care enough about you to try to vote for how you're gonna live. I'm living how I want to live. I'm good. If you want to do this in your home or that, go ahead. Just don't make me a part of it. And I think that's the way to go. I am I'm much more concerned with my faith than with politics. A lot of people align their faith with politics, and I think they feel that justifies it. But I'm more interested in my faith. and I don't want to say religious beliefs because that feels like dirty words to me. I don't feel that I practice religion. To me, it's a relationship. I think that's how it's supposed to be. It's not ritualistic. It's not lifeless. It's not traditions passed down. It's a living, breathing relationship. And I feel like me believing what I believe in and having that big picture, it's like none of this matters. And again, I know I love the Squid Squad, but I'm not naive. I know who I'm speaking with, and I know we have differing beliefs. But when I'm just thinking in my own head, it's like I've read the book, you know. As far as I'm concerned, I know how it ends. And no polls are gonna change that. And I know it's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better. So it's kind of made me into like I'm not trying to save the world, you know, because I know it's hopeless, and that might make me seem negative and pessimistic, but it's not. My hope is not in this fallen earth. Man, I'm sounding like a lunatic to some of you. You know what I think is weird though? Like, people who don't believe in God, it's like they'll believe in karma, but they won't call it like reaping what you sow. They won't call it something biblical. Oh yeah, I believe in karma. Reaping what you sow? Scriptural? Nah, I don't believe in God, but I believe in karma. Power of positive thinking, manifesting things. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The secret, the keys. Yeah. Speaking things into existence, power of the tongue, prayer. No. But just putting things out in the world and manifesting, sure. It's like we'll utilize these things and just put our own weird spin on it so we can deny God. So many things have been hijacked and called other things. Terms, symbols. I don't know, man. I don't like talking too much. I always feel like I'll be misunderstood. And it's not my intent to upset anybody. I don't know why. It's just been so easy for me to grow up believing in what I believe in and just not be shaken and not be impressed with the things of this world to the point where it makes me deny a creator. Oh, the creator said I can't do this and this and this and that. Forget that guy. I can't have a good, pleasurable life that way. Who's he to tell me what to do? If I'm playing The Sims and I make a bunch of Sims, let me tell you, they're gonna do what I say. I mean, it's my game, you know? I never understand that way of thinking. It's like, if someone created me and then sets these rules for me, who is he? Oh, the one that created you? Did you just answer that yourself? For the longest time, my goal in life has been... There's 5 people watching right now. I think you 5 and I think Alex are the only person in the world. I haven't even really talked to my wife about this. You 5 and Alex are the only people in the world who know what I'm about to say. Like, my goal in life is, whether it's bringing in a bunch of client work and making a lot of money, or MMA, whatever else with the YouTube channel, whatever, I win the lottery, whatever. My goal for the longest time has been to save up or have this flow of income, like passive income, where I don't have to work every day to earn it. I've done something. We make a Netflix movie or something. We make a movie with Universal, and all of a sudden I'm getting royalties. I don't have to work anymore. My goal is that I can be like the next C.S. Lewis. I think a lot of people hate Christians because of their perspective of them. Because, like, okay. I used to have a really low opinion of Catholics. Like, man, I would just bash them. I had the lowest opinion of Catholics because of everything I'd ever seen from people who called themselves Catholics. And it was like all rituals, traditions. Like, okay, I got to do this on that day, and then I got to do this, and then I'm supposed to say this thing this many times. I'm supposed to count these beads. I'm supposed to show up on this day. I got to pray for this person. Hopefully they'll go to heaven now, even though they lived a horrible life. My prayers will get them in. I'll I'll do, you know. Why are you doing that? Because someone told me to. That's our thing. It was passed down. We have the longest lineage, you know. And then I meet people like Alex, and it's like, man, this guy's challenging me. This guy's hitting me with scripture. Why do you do this weird thing? Why do you do that? Why are you talking to this dude that I just saw at the store buying a bag of chips? How's this dude gonna pray you into heaven or forgive or retain your sins? Oh, because it's in the scripture right here. Oh, shoot. Okay. Let me get back to you. I mean, what I'm saying is there's people who make something look ugly and awful. I don't think I'm ready to go there yet. Am I? How many people are watching? I don't know if it's worth it. There are people who can be something, and they'll make that's your in the Christian vein that are. Hello? Hello? What the heck? Can you hear me? Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. I don't know what happened. Let's see. Wait, you can hear me. Can you see me? Can you see me? Yes. What's up, Joycey? Let me see if Let me see if I. You know, I was even gonna say, Jill, if you're watching, turn it off. Don't watch me stream and drive. What? Hoshiko, where are you from? Do you celebrate Easter on... I'm sorry, this is driving me crazy. Do you celebrate Easter on a different day? I got a haircut yesterday, and my hair doesn't know what to do with itself yet. Son of a gun. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm Jimmy Neutron. I need a beanie. Where are we? Oh gosh. My fingers are all messed up because of the guitar, so it like won't even scroll right. Oh, that was the Backstreet Boys. See how out of the loop I am? What? Stevie Nicks says Harry was in instead of Justin Timberlake. When I was 11, there was a song that was a major hit among kids, but when I hear the lyrics now, I'm like, how are we allowed to? For reals. When I watch certain TV shows now that I watched when I was like 7, and my kids are in the room, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta turn this off. How was I ever allowed to watch this? Things were like so much more uncensored in the 90s. Heck yeah, Rocky's the best. Supernatural? Is that song in Supernatural? Joycey, you haven't seen Rocky? Oh, geez, I was out for that long? Oh, man. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for reassuring me, Rachel, because I felt like it was a really boring, weird angle. Yeah, gosh, this is driving me crazy. I need to get more hats. My hair's been really annoying me. It's like stupid, like you have to wash it and stuff. I hate it. Yeah, I hate political fights. And it's not even like, oh, I'm so mad at what they're saying because they're against like my side. It's just dumb. It no matter what side, I don't know. I don't get the Tea Party, although we have too many parties. Yeah. Aisha, I don't know if I knew that you were from the UK. Maybe I forgot that. Hoshiko, where are you from? You might have already answered, but I didn't scroll down. The last election here had a very controversial outcome. A new was the biggest party. A new very right-wing party was the biggest party and more left-central party. Jeez. Yeah, Joycey. That's a toughie. That's a toughie. I've always kind of had weird feelings about those people that are like, I'm spiritual. I worship in my own way. I pray. And like they don't go to church. And it's like, okay. It's like, yeah, I don't go to school and receive instruction. I kind of just like dabble and try to figure out calculus at home. I think I got it. But sometimes you go to a church and it's like, this is weird. This isn't biblical. This is cliquish. And I don't want to start to get into like, oh, there's so much gossip. There's so much hypocrisy. There's so much backstabbing. Then don't go to school or work or Walmart because that's everywhere. But yes, Joycey, there's been so many times over the years in different churches. I've been at the church that I'm at now. I started going there when I was like 8. But there were a couple times when, for different reasons, moving and stuff, I was at other churches. I was at several churches in between. And sometimes it's like, yeah, something's off here. Because I mean, the moment you put human beings into the mix, it's going to be flawed. So you can decide to try to have faith and believe in God and scour the Bible, and it's like, okay, there's like a wholesomeness there. It's a pure thing. You're sincerely seeking something. But then you walk into this building and people might have these agendas, and maybe they're trying to raise money for certain things, and maybe you don't agree with what they're doing with it, and maybe you don't agree with, maybe they're trying to tell you to dress a certain way, or maybe they're telling you you can't do certain things that aren't even biblical, or maybe they're telling you to do things that you don't feel is okay because they're trying to compromise. They're trying to bring in the youth, and they're saying, oh, well, this is okay now. God is love. So forget all the scriptures. God's okay with everything now. Church is weird, Joycey. Church can get very weird. It's not perfect. They didn't have church like they do today in the Bible. Oh, geez. Hoshiko, you're still trying to save the earth. I can't, you can't argue with that. I mean, those are beautiful intentions. Aisha, I think I'm just extremely, because of my faith, I always feel like I'm going to be judged. So that's why I always word things that way, like, all right, let me have it. Because I always feel like you're a Christian? It's 2019? I always just feel like when you say something like that label, it triggers so many people, and it's like they're gonna kind of start to add up all the, wait a minute, doesn't he believe this then? And he believes that? Oh, now I get it. I'm always like just hyper aware that I don't think I'm on board with the youngins, Yeah, I definitely know what you mean, Joycey. Like, I hate it when people do stuff like litter. Like, to me, like, I believe God created this earth. So if I finish a soda and I throw the cup on the ground, like, I don't have that in me. I could never do that. I'll hold it with me for hours. I won't. That makes me sick when I see people do stuff like that. Because I still recognize, like, I do acknowledge it as a fallen earth, and I believe it's... I know if you're not a person of faith and you don't believe in the Bible, this all sounds like Lord of the Rings stuff to you, but I believe this is a fallen earth, and it's going to be destroyed one day. Don't I sound crazy? And there's that part of me, but then there's also, like, it's still, this is God's creation, I've accepted the fate of it, but I'm not going to harm it myself. So yeah, definitely. It's scary, Joycey, because there are so many interpretations. There are so many different branches that believe that their explanation of the Bible is the way, and they all have their own ways to explain why they are correct. It's not even like you just have all these different ones. They all have their own way of saying, here's why we're right. It's so tricky. Yeah, organized religion is definitely, I mean, I don't, yeah. When I say I'm a Christian, I definitely feel that that's something apart from organized religion. Like I take my faith very, very seriously. Like, I mean, it might make me seem judgmental, but like sometimes I'll look at the people in my own church and I'll be like, I don't think they're like they're not as all in as they should be, you know? Like gosh, I'm not trying to give myself a big head or anything, but like I devote so much time to prayer and like not reading, studying my Bible, cross-referencing, taking notes. Like I'm really, really into it. And sometimes when you get into the organized religion trap, it's like, well, Sunday, time to show up, listen to this guy, go home, and just act like I was never here. That's awful. And then you end up with Christians who make you hate Christianity because they're not being Christ-like. They're not living up to the name. Oh. Yeah, I mean, Aisha, I don't know anything about Islam, but I appreciate you, opening up and saying that. I can understand like what you mean by that. Like just being, oh my gosh, being able to relate. I mean, especially maybe the UK is not quite as bad as the United States, but especially um, especially having your faith and living in a place where maybe that's not the predominant faith, and people being very quick to stereotype you. I mean, I feel very, very judged as a Christian. Like every time I say I'm a Christian, I feel like I'm sitting in a circle going, "My name is Vincent, and I'm a Christian." Um, I don't know when it happened. I was diagnosed with Christianity several years ago. I always feel like it's a dirty thing now. Like you're not supposed to be Christian. Yeah, I am. Boy, 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 boy. They say God is love, and Jesus preached love, new covenant. But I always try to remember, well, to me, there is no negative connotation. There's definitely such a thing as tough love. And it's like, okay, if you don't believe in God, if you don't believe in salvation in Christ, if you don't believe in the Bible, okay. I can't, I might as well stop talking. Because if you don't believe in the scriptures, I'm just going to talk in circles and you don't care. I might as well write up a book right here myself and say, well, look, it says in my book. And you'll say, well, who cares about your book? So if you don't believe in the Bible, okay, we're kind of stuck. But if you're willing to say, well, I don't believe in organized religion. I don't believe in church. I don't believe in the building. But yeah, the Bible's a good book. I believe in the Bible. Well, yes, the Bible teaches that God is love. Jesus preached love. And I know the term tough love is not in the Bible, but he definitely preached tough love as well. He definitely told people, you cannot do these things. You know, a lot of people like to look at God in the Old Testament and say that he was very vengeful and he was very black and white. You can't do this, can't do that, can't do. And then Jesus came along and he was all love. He still clearly said not to do a bunch of things. It's all over the New Testament. I mean, dive into Corinthians, dive into Romans. So I always try to make it a point to acknowledge tough love. Love does not mean enabling. Love does not mean I love you as you are. Every single thing that you're doing, even if they're wrong, I accept you that way. And I'm not going to help you. I'm saying I love you, but I don't have your best interests at heart. You have these gratifications, you have these desires, you like to seek these pleasures, you like to have these selfish things. I'm going to let you have all that because I love you. No. If you love someone, you call them on it. You hold them accountable. You say, whoa, this isn't right. I'm going to tell you this because I love you. If your friend has a booger on their face, you're not going to say, leave it there because I love you. No, you're going to say, hey, man, you should take care of that. So I definitely believe in tough love. Jesus taught love, I believe, and it's scriptural that he taught tough love. I love you. You're my children. I accept you. These things are wrong and they have consequences. And it's like, well, then if we're not willing to follow certain things, let's not play halfway. Let's not pick and choose scripture. I don't want my children telling me, okay, you have rules in this house. I'm going to follow 3 of them. The other ones, nah, because I like this stuff too much. And it makes me feel good. And I'm comfortable doing this. And this is, I think I was built for this. Your rules don't seem to, I don't think I could thrive in your rules. That's not my best life. No. This is my house. You play by my rules. So if we're going to be in the house of faith, if we're going to say, I have faith, I believe in the Bible, then it's like all or nothing. And I'm not even going into specifics. I'm being as general as I possibly can. If a person's going to say, I choose to have faith and believe in God and follow the scriptures, and I'll go far. Let's even exit Christianity for a little bit, even though I'm very uncomfortable doing this. Whatever religion, whatever faith you are, if you're going to say, I am a person of this faith, and I have a manuscript that I'm to follow, then you follow it or you don't. Don't say that you follow it and then everyone else in your age group wants to do these things and you don't want to be an outcast and you don't want to be labeled as, full of hate and a bigot and all that. So I better be open to these things or else they'll hate me and reject me. You've completely turned your back on your faith then and on your Bible or your manuscript or whatever every religion calls them. It's all or nothing. If you're with your spouse, if it's regarding your parents, you're doing a disservice to these people if you're only loving them halfway. You're all in or all out. I mean, the Bible says the lukewarmness is the worst offense. One or the other. What? I don't think I'm familiar with the term dead name. Does that mean like if I decided to become Sheila, then Vincent is a dead name? I learned something new today. Yeah, Joycey, I mean, I'm going to assume you and me come from very different backgrounds. And I feel like we have enough in the bank that I hope you don't hate me for saying this. Because you know my heart and you know I'm not a hateful person, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine any house of worship that would acknowledge that. In my opinion, they'd have to be a real, like, we really want to fill the seats and seem modern to adapt to that, because yeah, I can understand your frustration and your feeling that that's disrespectful, but yeah, like when I understood what you were saying, it kind of blew my mind. Like, yeah, I can't imagine that being recognized in any church I've ever been in. Jeez. I don't even know what non-binary means. I don't know what that means. You don't. You know what I think a lot of people are afraid of, Joycey, is like, let me say something. Let me play devil's advocate here, Joycey. I'm not trying to be a troll. Again, I hope you know me well enough by now to know that I'm not trying to be a hateful person. But it's a slippery slope, because you don't get to tell someone what they are, especially if they made it very clear what they identify as. Here's people's fear. I go into a doctor's office. Now, please, Joycey, I'm gonna act here. Hear me out, please. Please, please understand where I'm coming from. Let's say I go into a doctor's office and they say, hi, let's say the form has come to life in a verbal manner, and they say, okay, are you a man or a woman? And I say, I'm a woman. Okay. What's your name? Denise. My name's Denise now. Okay. Hello, Denise. How old are you? 85. Huh? How old did you say? I'm 85. You're not 85. How dare you? I identify as an 85-year-old. And I'm a black woman. Not? No, you're not. Hold on, let me put my phone on That's what I think a lot of people are afraid of, what they're concerned with, because it's like, now you might already have the perfect answer for this, because I'm sure I'm not the first person who's ever thought of this. You might have the perfect answer for, well, it's this part of the brain that decides that, not your age, not your ethnicity or whatever. Because if you go and you try to tell someone you're black, you're gonna be all over Twitter. But you could do it with sexuality, no problem. If I go to the doctor's office and I tell them I'm 6'7", that's how I identify it. You better write that down. Are they gonna do that for me if I tell them that I'm a 6'7" black woman? Are they gonna accept that? That's where I think a lot of the problems come in. And again, please remember, I'm playing devil's advocate here, and I'm trying to give you a situation where, like, that's, I think, what's in a lot of people's heads. That's what they're gonna say. I'm so lost. Oh, you're from Romania. For some reason, when I saw Hoshiko, I thought you're Japanese. Am I racist? Thank you, Jill. I thought that was going to sound kind of weird. Like, as I was saying that, I was like, what am I saying? Last church didn't know wrong. It told me many things I didn't get or believe and that they weren't. And that weren't in the Bible. Yeah, I know a lot of people that do that, Joycey. These name it and claim it people, and they're like, if you can't just... They think that any kind of illness is a direct reflection of, like, your spirit, and, like, yeah, you must have sin in your life and stuff like that. Well, Joycey, I don't know if you'll receive this. I don't know how you'll interpret this, but let me say this to you. I don't know if I've ever shared this with you guys, but my brother is a pretty hardcore meth addict. Like, as bad as you can be. For probably the last 20 years. And I remember one day I was at church, and he showed up at church. I was shocked. And then after a while, he walked out, and I felt it, and I followed him. And he was standing outside, and he was leaning on the fence, and he was crying. And he was telling me, he was crying and saying he didn't want to be that way. He said, I grew up in a pretty bad area, and there was a really big meth problem. And a lot of my other relatives were caught up in it. And he was pretty much saying, everyone else got out of it. Everyone else is free. How come I can't stop? I don't want to die like this. I want to have kids. And he was telling me, I want to be like you. He's my big brother. I'm married. I have the kids and everything. And he's like, I want to be like you. Well, I'm a big, screw up, and I'm going to die like this. I'm going to die alone. This might sound so cliche to you, so horribly cliche. But my response to him was, my condensed response to him was, and consider the context. We were at church here. He was looking for something. He wanted to change. And I told him, man, you're in the perfect spot for an for a miraculous testimony. I used to work as a correctional officer, and I always had a very good attitude with the inmates, and they liked me because I respected them, and I never talked down to them. I was never an idiot with them. But one thing I was always lacking was that I was squeaky clean. I've been squeaky clean my whole life, so they couldn't relate to me. I couldn't talk to them about alcoholism. I couldn't talk to them about drug abuse. I couldn't talk to them about gang life because I didn't live that. They appreciated what I did bring to the table. They appreciated my positive attitude. But I didn't have that. And I told my brother, I told him, again, because of why he was there and what he was looking for, I told him, you could turn this around, man. You could have an unbelievable testimony. You could minister to people. I could never talk to a meth addict the way that you can. They'll think I'm just judgmental. They'll think I'm self-righteous. They can't relate to me. I told him the background that you have, all the things you've been through, all the heartache you've been through, the times you've been homeless, the times you've almost overdosed. You could use this testimony to save other young people's lives. I told him, don't get down on yourself. I told him, if you really want to change, if you really want to get out of this, you have a beautiful, life-changing story that you could use to motivate other young people because you've been there. We need people like that. We need people who have been alcoholics. We need people who have been in prison. We need people who have been strung out on drugs because they can save the next generation. And Joyce, when you're talking about your sickness, again, I don't know how you'll receive this. I don't know if it'll just seem like I'm trying too hard to be positive. But every time I see someone afflicted with something, whether it's drug abuse, whether it's an illness, a death, whatever, I think that's a testimony. Joyce's illness, she can encourage people that I never could. I don't have her illness. There's a lady called, oh my gosh, what was her name? Joyce, no, not Joyce. Oh my gosh, what was her name? She's a quadriplegic. She wasn't born that way. She was in a car accident. I forgot her name. But if you type in like Christian lady quadriplegic or something, you'll find her. She was in a car accident, became quadriplegic. She has a miraculous testimony now, and she ministers to so many people who are handicapped in various ways. Quadriplegics, of course, especially, but other people. And she's in her form, can't even move her neck around. Still rejoicing, still praising God, still giving glory to God, saying, hallelujah, life is good. I'm in this wheelchair, I can't even turn my neck. I'll never stand again. I'll never play with my kids, get up and play with my kids again. But praise God. And what? People could still praise God in that situation? Yup. People who have these afflictions can use that as a testimony to tell others, oh, you have this thing? Oh, look at that. And I don't mean to say that to try to make you feel bad, but I'm saying it's a beautiful thing. You look at all the people in the Bible and all the afflictions that they had. The people that God used were the most imperfect people. Moses, the guy who became like the mouthpiece for God. The guy who brought his people out. He had like a speech impediment, stuttering, couldn't even speak right. He was the guy. I wouldn't get down on yourself for that. Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, Aisha, I don't believe um, my faith, my experience with my faith is on the same level as yours, just because of recent years, you know. But so I definitely, I can imagine what you're talking about. But yeah, it must be tough to actually have a sincere interest in your faith and want to live it out and express it and feel like you can't. That's horrible. You know, unfortunately, Joycey, there's people who, I mean, there's people who's, you know, they'll say they're a Christian, and maybe they have the best intentions, and they'll say, yes, I'm a Christian, and maybe they've been going to church for 45 years, and maybe they're a youth leader now, and maybe they'll suggest, you know, very on the surface type things for you, because, you know, what I'm saying is maybe they'll suggest things to you when maybe someone needs to suggest something to them. I absolutely believe in prayer. My life was changed in November because of prayer. So I kind of understand what you're saying, and I kind of understand what your youth leader was saying, but I understand what you're saying because I absolutely believe in the power of prayer. And I watch myself, though, when someone's going through something, to say, oh, well, make sure you pray about it, because I've heard that my whole life, and I kind of cringe when I hear that. But in November, when my life was changed and I like reignited my prayer life, and I saw things coming to life before my eyes that I spoke into existence from prayer and fasting and some real life dedicated stuff, it was like, oh, this is real. Prayer yields results. This is a real thing. It's not just something you say. It's not some fluff, some God stuff. Prayer is real. So I know what you're saying, Joycey. It kind of sounds dismissive, though. Hey, Sarah. Whoa. Whoa. I'm very fascinated by the way you worded that, Joycey. I'm a little blown away. And I know you put them in quotations, but just the fact that you said that, I don't know what to make of that. The fact that you're saying that it came into the world after sin. Usually people are like, no, I was absolutely created this way, and there's no sin about it. So I don't know if I'm reading that correctly. Oh geez, sorry, Joe. I hope it wasn't our fault. You too, Joycey. Thank you for understanding. But okay, I don't think I expressed myself correctly. Maybe I was being a little too flip about it. I meant, what if I sincerely go into a dentist's office? I'm not in a joking tone at all in the office. And I'm like, I'm a woman. Okay. How tall are you? I'm 6'5". And I'm black. And I totally mean it. Totally mean it. I don't think I expressed that correctly the first time. Yeah. Oh gosh, it makes me sick that you thought that I meant that. That seems so like crude. I didn't mean it that way. I mean, like, what if I really come off as like okay, in this situation, I believe it. The person would be like, no, you're not. So that's where I think a lot of people get tripped up, because it's like, where does it end? Like, let me throw this at you. And again, please understand where I'm coming from. Don't come at me, bro. And I know a lot of people in the homosexual community get very mad at this, but let's have conversation. I can get mad at stuff too. Let's just have conversation. A lot of times people in the homosexual community will hear people say, well, I don't believe a man should marry a man. Okay. You'll hear the term love is love, love is love, love is love. And then you'll hear someone say, I don't believe a man should marry a man. And then the homosexual community will go, oh, you're bigot, love is love, okay. So then, again, devil's advocate, someone will say, you know what? I think I want to marry my brother. Is he allowed to do that? And if not, how dare you? You're a bigot. Why are you judging? Let's say a guy wants to marry his sister, which is illegal. How dare you? Laws, you're a bigot. You're full of hate. Why can't a dude marry his sister? Love is love. It's like, if we're going to believe, if we're going to say we have faith, if we're going to say we believe in God, if we're going to say we believe in the Bible, we're all in or we're all out. I personally don't understand how someone could say love is love, love is love, love is love. Dude can marry a dude. Dude, however, cannot marry his sister. That's hypocritical. Dude can't marry his dad. Dude can't marry his mom. That's hypocritical. Love is love, or let's not say that. So that's kind of like an extension of what I was saying. Like, if a guy goes into a doctor's office and says, I'm a woman, my name is Dolores, I'm 7'2", and I'm black. Do you write all of that down, or do you just say, no, I accept you're a woman and your name is Dolores, but you're not black and you're not 7'2"? That I can't buy. Why? Why are you judging me? That's what I identify as. How dare you? Let's say that's out of the equation. Let's say it is proven that the gender stuff was somehow scientifically proven. And let's say a guy wants to marry a guy. Okay. Are you going to let that same guy marry his sister? If not, hypocrite, right? Now, if you're saying dude can marry his sister or his mom or his dad, I'm out of ideas. Okay then. But I'm just saying, it's one or the other. It's all one or the other. That's where I think people are coming from on the other end, where they're scratching their heads. Like, why can they do this but not that? People just want to know, where does it end? If anything, you're racist for using it. Yeah, I remember when I was like a tiny child. I don't remember how old I was. Something was going on in the bathroom. And my dad was like all over the place, kind of losing it. And they had like the tub running. I didn't know what was going on, and my brother was in there. I learned years later, like as an adult, that my brother had like overdosed but didn't die, or like almost overdosed, or, and I was like, what? This is the house I grew up in? Okay. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. I'm like Ben Shapiro, but I believe in Jesus, right? My 2 sisters and my brother were all meth addicts. Like my whole childhood. And I had no idea until I was like 21. No clue. Both of my sisters are off of it now. And my brother's still very much on it. My sister's a lesbian. And my brother's gay. Now I'm going to tell you something that you might appreciate, the fact that I'm saying this. Because why the heck would I open up to you this way? Or you're going to hate me for it. My whole life, growing up, very anti-gay. I was raised to be a Christian. Hello? You got a list of things that you don't do. They're wrong, right? Homosexuality was one of them. Who was I at 5 years old to say, that's wrong. I think in 20 years, everyone's going to say it's okay. So I was like, yeah. Don't kill, don't do this, don't do that. Immorality, yeah, good. And especially the area that I grew up in. I grew up in an area and a culture where we used lots of homosexual slurs. That was the time, that was the era and the place I grew up in. That was what was normal. Thank you for saying that, Hushiko. So my brother, he's gay, and he's like, he's like, I'm gonna wear wings and a mini skirt and paint my face and run up and down the block with wearing chains and leather. That's my brother. And I'm like, get away from me. In my mind, he was the type of gay that's like, I want to rub it in your face. This is my identity. See, that's where I always was like, okay. Because, like, I like Chinese food. I like the Beatles. I really like the color green. I like martial arts. But that's not I don't call that my identity. Sup, Jeremy? But my brother, it was like, that's my identity. I'm going to rub it in your face. That's all I'm going to talk about. That's all I'm going to do. And I was like, okay, that's a little too much for me, man. My sister, the most passive, responsible, nice, loving, considerate, thoughtful person you've ever met. And then I'm like, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is it's the same with Christians or Republicans or Democrats. I don't think you should say, oh, that's what you are? Oh, well, then this is how I feel about you. Because I would look at my brother and, I'd be like, oh, he's living in sin. Look at how he's acting. He's like trying to like be hurtful. He's like he's living as if he's like his daily life is like acting out, like trying to get some kind of revenge or something. And my sister's just over here living. So it got to the point where I couldn't say, "Oh, that's what you are. I don't like you," or "You're wrong," or "I don't want to have nothing to do with you." And I think that's what people do with a person who's homosexual, with a person who's a Christian, with a person who's a Democrat or a Republican, with a person who likes Shawn Mendes. I'm trying to remember what what comment I was even riffing on. Um, uh, I don't. I'm. I'm perplexed, Joycey. I mean, is it just like not wanting to believe in a God? Like, I can't even comprehend someone saying that they don't want a miracle. Yeah, great point, Sarah. Yes, definitely support systems. Definitely not an instant fix for everything. Very good points, Joycey. I I I feel that you still have like a root, like a deep rooted faith in God, even though it may seem to contradict other things that you believe in. Some people just absolutely turn their back on God and say, "Nope, not for me." But it looks like you still have something hanging on there. I don't even know what to say to that, Jill. I know what you mean. It's still kind of surreal, the like community that we've built on here and how everybody means so much to each other. You know, we don't hear from someone for a couple of days and we start to worry about them. I am the youngest, Aisha. Joycey, you're not a downer. I was just kidding about Shawn Mendes. Yeah, that makes sense, Hoshiko. You know what I thought was really interesting? I really, really loved my grandma. I mean, it's not like I don't love my other one, but I kind of had this special relationship with my dad's mom. And I remember I used to visit her all the time. And my brother, for some reason, started visiting her pretty often. So I was always visiting her, always spending time with her. And then all of a sudden, my brother was always going over there. And I used to like really hate my brother because I didn't really have any empathy back then. I was very black and white back then, very judgmental, no compassion. And he was already on drugs, full blown, and he'd go over there. And it was like, I'm going to visit my grandma, and I'm going to tell her of all my homosexual rendezvous. So please remember, this was a time when I was like, this was years ago where I was still like, I don't, I mean, it's not like I do now, but I was like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to be around him. And he'd go, again, it was like he was living this life like, this is who I am, everybody. You're going to listen to it. You're gonna be right there with me. So he'd go to my grandma's house and he would like tell her, like he was bragging about it. Like stuff he was doing to the two guys and stuff they were doing to him. And I'd go over there and she was like, your brother came and he was telling me all this stuff again and I don't want to hear that. Imagine, my grandma, how old she was at the time. She definitely didn't want to hear that. Her background, she didn't want to hear that. And I was like, I know, and I I basically stopped visiting her because every time I would go by her house, I would see my brother there. I would see some indicator that he was there, whatever vehicle it was at that time. And I would just keep going. And I basically stopped visiting her because I didn't want to be around my brother. And she got very sick. She was sick for years. But she ended up in the hospital. And it was pretty apparent that she wasn't going to leave the hospital. And my brother asked me if I could. I was informed that it was like I better visit her. It was like that was gonna be it. I was trying to hold out and I was hoping she would get out. It was like I didn't want to acknowledge it. I didn't want to go visit her there. But I was given the news, it was pretty apparent she was gonna stay there. And I went and my brother called me and he said, can you give me a ride? I don't have a way to get over there. So I took my brother with me and we went and visited her in the hospital. And that was the last time I ever saw my grandma. And I thought it was pretty ironic because I used to visit her constantly. And I pretty much stopped visiting her because I didn't want to be around my brother. And the last time I ever got to see her, I went with my brother. So I thought that was very ironic. I don't even remember why I brought that up. Oh yeah, we were talking about people who have suppressed it for so long, and then they just, that's all they are, that's all they want to talk about. And I just was trying to avoid him, and then, like an idiot, I stopped spending time with my grandma, and then the last time, ironically, it was with him. I shouldn't have stopped visiting her. I guess it depends on how you feel about like a divine creator, Hoshiko, because like, I mean, for one, I don't think enough miracles happen today because people don't believe anymore. Christians will go to church their whole lives, and the moment someone wants to share a testimony regarding a miracle, everyone's real suspicious. No one believes in miracles anymore. Miracles aren't happening because no one believes, and if they do, no one believes. They think people are crazy. And then it's like, then why are you going to church and acting like you believe in God if you're not going to acknowledge the power of God? So I personally, I wouldn't care if there were 30 people around me giving their best efforts and they failed, and then God provided a miracle. It's like, yeah, that's God. That's the power of God. We're stupid humans. We're mortals. God came through for me. I can understand what you're saying because you want to acknowledge the people that you love around you, and you know that they care for you and they're trying to help you. Yeah. It was a very emotional time, and I couldn't help but think that, thank you, Yoshiko. Couldn't help but think that my grandma probably felt it was pretty ironic as well. She knew how I felt. That's, yeah, we're not strangers, Aisha. Not anymore. Man, I didn't mean to take so much of your time. I don't want to pretend that I don't know that people need to get back to work. People need to go to sleep. People need to study. I don't want to just be presumptuous and go on and on and on. Alex sent me a message right now too, probably regarding our meeting, so I got to call him back. I'm going to have to get the kids soon. I didn't mean to ramble for so long. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's not like I'm keeping secrets from people, but I've caught myself saying things on this stream just organically that I've never said to anybody else. 11. Yeah, same here, Joycey. I thought I was just gonna drive home listening to some classic rock, and now we're here. Safe space, yep. Well, you know what I always long for? 10 p.m. Thank you, Hoshiko. You know, I always have this desire to... Oh, yeah. Yeah, Aisha. I love... See, I'm not the kind of person that's like all roads lead to God. Or, you know, everyone can believe in their own different things and it's all good. I'm not that person. But I do love that we can genuinely, really to the max, believe in our own things and still get along. Like, I I try. I try not to just come out and just say things that I don't need to say. But I know you guys know how I feel about certain things. And I know how you feel about certain things. And we still like each other. I think that's great. Um, oh, Jill, you're making me emotional. I I never thought about it like that. You know, when I started reacting to Zayn and all these different things, I never thought that we'd make friends on here like this. But it feels so good. It's so crazy how something like this can come out of that. Oh, the love is real, Aisha. I know what you mean, Joycey. Like, a lot of people, I think they hear me and Alex talk. But even me and Alex, oh, Chico. Even me and Alex disagree wildly on things because I'm what you would call a Protestant, I suppose, and he's a Catholic. I appreciate you sticking around, Joycey. I'm so glad all you guys didn't leave when it seemed like it was a dead channel. I like doing this now more than I ever did. But yeah, me and Alex will get into discussions all the time about, well, you don't need to do this, or why do you do that, or that's not what the scripture meant. But we always walk away with something, I think. Jeez. How does that song go? People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. I already was. I don't think you could tell though because of my complexion and the lighting. I don't think I will now. I think I'm in a different place now. Oh, jeez. Yeah, Joycey, I think about that a lot too. Like, you know what's a funny thing, especially since Sarah just said that, sometimes when I'm in traffic, you know how like when you're in traffic, everyone's your enemy and it's like a competition and everyone's like on high alert and like you get mad at people for cutting you off and trying to go too fast or going too slow. And it's like in any other situation, we might be like the best of friends. Or like you'll be in line with someone at the store and it's like there's like an awkwardness, you know, look at each other weird or something. But like in any other situation, you could be like the best of friends. And like on here, yeah, I don't know if any of us would have ever organically became friends otherwise. But on here, it worked out. Yes, definitely, Joycey. And yes, Rose, please keep us updated. I had no idea the scope of what you're dealing with until I actually Googled it yesterday. What you said was going on. Just yeah, we do care. We do want to know if you get moved or what's going on. We are concerned. Yeah, different sides of the club. Um. But yeah, and you have the chat. That good. I'm glad that you guys made the chat because I'm not required for that. Because I love having this thing where I can get on and then it starts the conversation. But you know, I also don't want to become like, hey, you guys want to watch everything I do. Now I'm mowing the lawn. You know, I don't want to do that either. I don't want to exhaust it. So even when this is all over, there's still the chat. I love that. I'm glad that exists. Um, oh, by the way, if any of you saw my video yesterday, I almost took it down. I wanted you guys to know it was a joke. I haven't gone into the video yet and looked at the comments, but I saw a notification come through on my phone. And someone that I didn't even recognize said something like it, I can't even remember what they said. But it seemed like they thought it was for reals and like they get the same way when they hear this other thing or something. I was like, "Oh shoot. I don't want people to think like I'm trying to." That one where I was crying, I was kind of being a troll and I was showing some acting chops. And I was trying to show like I was just trying to be goofy cuz I love that song so much, and they always play it for Job in Arrested Development. And somebody commented like, "Oh, poor you," and yeah, I feel the same. And I was like, it was someone who I've never seen before. I didn't recognize their name or their avatar. But I was like, oh man, I don't want them to think. Not the shower one, the other one where I made myself cry. I love that song though. The other day I had to drop off my car at the mechanic and I had to walk all the way home. And I kept putting that song on. Who's gonna drive you home? And I had it in my pocket. And I was just walking home like all sad. But I wasn't even sad. I just felt like I was like in an 80s movie. And whenever I'd get close to people, I would just turn it down so it wouldn't look weird. You just see me walking by. Nothing's wrong. Those of us who know you, I appreciate that, Rose. That makes me feel really good. I've told Alex before. Oh, thank you, Hoshiko. That was an interesting last minute choice, but I was like, I think I'm going to do this. I've told Alex a bunch of times, Rose, that I want to be like the next Andy Kaufman. Like, I love doing stuff where people aren't quite sure if I'm joking or if it's supposed to be funny or like what's going. I love doing stuff like that. Or I'll love doing something that I think is hilarious that other people don't get, so they won't laugh, but I'll get a kick out of it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think I've done too. Not that you would anyway, but the streams aren't worth catching up on. Like when I'm driving and stuff, and I'm just being an idiot, and I'm just singing, and spouting random thoughts. Yeah, those aren't worth it. But I did a couple of short ones. I better wrap it up now, because I got stuff that I have to get done, and if I don't do it now, I'm gonna be working all night. I don't want to have to move my shift over. I could have never thought that streaming about something like this. Good. Thank you, Rose. It's not just me. Alex is always like, we got to do more broad comedy that like everyone can enjoy. And I'm always like, no, I just want that one person to laugh. That one weirdo like me. I would laugh, Joycey. I like that kind of stuff. I never could have thought that. It's funny that we're all the people on here that no one else ever gets. And we'd all have the same kind of humor. I never would have thought that this kind of a topic, first of all, would come up. I didn't think I'd have the nerve to bring this all up, or that it could go over as smoothly. When I started talking about all this in the car, I thought I was gonna pull over at some point and read the chat, and you guys were gonna be lighting me up. I thought it was gonna be like, this is the final video. They're all gonna hate me now. Which Louis video? Does he have a new song out? But thank you for making it such a productive, amazing stream with peace and understanding. Lewis and Richard. Is this a fitting fitting segue? Who's Richard? Yeah. Same here, Joycey. Like, I'm never interested in combativeness and confrontation and all that. I think everything should be done with love. No one's ever gonna be, oh, nobody tell me. Okay. Okay. Tell me no more. I'll go check it out for myself. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think anyone's ever gonna be won over. Okay. I don't think anyone's ever gonna be won over in an argument. If I come to the table with my point of view and you come to the table with yours and we're like, look, here's why you're wrong. No one's ever gonna leave the table going, shoot, I was wrong. I agree with you now. They're only gonna leave feeling more justified in what they believed in the first place, and now they're only gonna be even more put off. Nothing is accomplished without love, without speaking in love and living it. If you truly believe in something, if I truly believe in Jesus, if I truly believe in the scriptures, my best shot at trying to get others to feel the same way is living it out. Not preaching hellfire at people. Do I believe in hellfire? Do I believe in consequences of sin? Absolutely. Is there a time and place for preaching hellfire? Absolutely. When you're preaching to the choir, when you're preaching to people who are already sold on Christ, who already believe in the scriptures, who already, there's different phases. But to go to the mall and preach hellfire to people, I don't think that's the way to go. Your life is what's going to get to people. If I'm calling myself a Christian, and I'm just the most vulgar person, and I'm just so negative, and I'm saying the worst things, and I'm the worst example, people are going to go, I don't want Christ. He's a representative. I have to live it. I have to show it, and hopefully I do a good job. Me just telling people you're wrong, and this is why I believe you're wrong, it says in this scripture, that's just going to put people off. You might not believe in what I believe in, so you might not take that perspective as specifically as I do. But for whoever you are, whatever you believe in, the best thing you can do is just live it out. Stop talking about it. Live it out. You talk about it too much, you don't give yourself any time to live it. Okay, I'm done talking. I've been saying goodbye for like the last 5 minutes. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you. I believe at this point everyone loves each other. Everyone appreciates each other. It's been amazing. Absolutely, Sarah. Absolutely. Well, I believe we're all on the same page and everyone feels comfortable enough to speak freely. With love, of course. I don't think people should speak freely and go like, blah, blah, blah. I was told to speak freely. I don't think anyone's going to do that, but thank you, everybody. It's been amazing. I hope everyone feels the same way in one way or another. Enjoy the rest of your day. the rest of your night. Spread the love. Live what you believe. Let your life be the example, not your words. Other cliches, you know. I'll see you guys sometime very soon. TPWK. I'm gonna have to Google that one. Treat people with kindness. There you go. Jeez, I've never seen that one. All right.